the thing. All right, how about that? I want to thank the astute person who was watching, who said there was an issue with the audio. So,
hello there.
All
Testing
right.
1, 2.
I'm using new technology. I'm in a new car. We have some issues. Thank you for being patient. So, in summary, Car Con Carne, presented by the Autobarn Mazda of Evanston, 1015 Chicago Avenue in Evanston. We're in a new Mazda 6. I covered that before. I want to cover it again just to make sure it's all covered. That right there, Jim Peterik, an unimpeachable songwriter, musical talent. You know him from his band, the Ides of March, which has been around for 55 years.
And counting.
I can't even count how many presidential administrations that means.
It was Eisenhower.
Was it really?
No.
No, it couldn't have been. It was the
I'm
1960s.
just kidding you.
It was Kennedy. It was JFK, right?
We're joking.
Yeah. We're in front of Revolution Brewpub on Milwaukee Avenue, who provided tonight's food. Thank you, Revolution. Truly the best. We love Revolution. Jim Peterik, you know him from Ides of March. You know him from this band right here, Survivor.
The Survivor Tones. Yep. And you blew my mind. You got the vinyl of Premonition, one of my favorite albums by Survivor. Me and Frankie were in our prime. Well, we still are, you know. But that's the album that Stallone heard. If you heard the story, forgive me. And he heard Poor Man's Son, and he told Tony Scotti, our label manager, he said, that's the sound I want for my new movie, Rocky 3. Suddenly I get a call on my answer machine. Hey, yo, Jimmy, give me a call. It's Sylvester Stallone. I thought someone was putting me on.
I was going to say, I mean, he gets Stallone, because everyone has a bad Stallone imitation.
And well, so do I, but he didn't have a secretary. He calls me, and finally, my wife Karen says, you better call him back. I don't think that's a joke. I called him back. Jim, I love your band, you know, that's the sound I want. Can you help me out? I want an anthem, something that'll go beyond, it'll probably outlive you. And I go, no problem, Sly. You know,
he phrased it like that.
Yeah.
Like he...
Oh, yeah, he thinks big. You know, everything he does, it's like, I want this to be the best scene you've ever, you know, he motivates the actors, you know, he motivated me and Frankie because he said, I want an anthem that will motivate generations. I go, yeah, no problem. So he sends us the rough cut of the movie, and I rented a Betamax Pro, put it on the kitchen table in LaGrange, Illinois. By this time, I was not in Berwyn. I'd stabbed westward to LaGrange. And on my kitchen table, I rented this Betamax Pro, and me and Frankie watched this movie. Mr. T rising up, you know, and Stallone kind of getting soft doing MasterCard commercials, right? And I had my guitar around my neck, and I just started going, you know, like that. And we see the punches being thrown, so I just started throwing chords out of the air, you know. You know? So we had a pretty good start there, right?
Like, did it come to you right like that? Like,
yeah. You know, well, I mean, I was trying to coordinate the riff with the punches. That's why there's that one staggered beat that drives every drummer crazy, because I was waiting for a punch. And it was just magic. You know, and Frankie really started the lyric going. He goes, how about this? Back on the street, doing time, taking chances. I said, man, I like that, you know. So I said, how about this? Rising up, back on the street, did my time, took my chances, went the distance, you know, now I'm back on my feet, just a man in his will to survive. Man, we just started going to town. 3 days later, we had the song. 4 days later, we were in Chicago Recording Company, the old one, by the way, on Grand Avenue.
Okay.
And we caught lightning in a bottle. We called all the guys in Survivor. We went down there. In 2 takes, we had it. And the next day, Dave Bickler came down and sang the lead vocal, Goosebumps. Sent it to,
isn't that interesting, though? Some of these songs, they're not overthought. You know when you have it, and you know if you spend too much time working on it, you're going to ruin it.
Like, yeah. Well, we didn't have time to ruin it, thank God. He needed it yesterday. So, you know, the funny thing is, and a lot of people don't know this, the version you hear in the movie is the demo, because we didn't have time to do the final.
That's amazing.
And it was good, but the sound quality was, we did it so quick, right? Didn't matter. The people in the theaters were standing up on their chairs when they heard this thing. later on, about a month later, we went to the real studio. I mean, seriously, it was great. But we took some time and we did the final version in L.A. And that's the one you hear on the album and you hear on the radio today.
That's amazing. What do you think when Hulk Hogan used it as his wrestling entrance music?
I don't think we got paid.
I was wondering about that.
But, it's good for business. I mean, Hulk Hogan, come on. The Chicago guy, right?
No, not Hulkster.
He was I'm thinking of Mr. T.
Yeah, no, Mr. T is definitely a Chicago guy.
Yeah.
The Hulkster is Venice Beach.
Well, in that case, I'm going to get a lawyer.
That's right.
It's a little late. Never mind. Latches.
So it's so interesting, and Stallone said it. He wanted a song that would last for the ages. Like, I have a 17-year-old. I have a 13-year-old. They both know Eye of the Tiger. It has crossed every possible generation.
I know. I'm blown away. I really am. Every generation discovers it and thinks makes it their own. You know, and I never expected that. That was just. We wrote it in 3 days. God created it. Never mind. It's just it happens quick.
If I worked out, I would listen to that all the time.
Me too. Me too. Hey, look, Brian Wilson never surfed, and I hated boxing. But hey, who cares?
And I will say, going back to this record that I brought, Summer Nights. That's my Jim Peterik legacy. That song. That was the first one that hooked me in.
Well, that was great, and that was actually started by Frankie. It was like the first song we really wrote together, and he had this, girl, let's see what's a good key. Girl, it always seems about September. That's the time again I remember the lights and all the fun of those summer nights. Then I had young and innocent and living fast. Didn't know enough to know that a summer love can last. Can last. Do you remember those summer nights all night, dancing in the light of love? She's cute. Summer nights alright, couldn't last beyond September. I don't know in this key. September. Summer nights all night, living for your love, dreaming only of you in summer nights. I love that song.
You were such a Chicago guy. In the middle of singing this song off Premonition, you happened to notice some local Logan Square talent.
Would you see her?
I did.
Oh my God.
All right, so back to Ides of March.
She had a cute smile. Those duck smiles?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, go ahead.
55 years later, here we are, the Ides of March, a new album on vinyl, because you're old school.
Right. I love vinyl. And I love the smell of it.
Here's the thing about Jim Peterik. Here's what I knew about you before we sat down tonight. Everyone loves Jim Peterik. Above and beyond the music, you have a reputation as being just a really decent guy, which I think is a Midwestern thing.
It's a Berwyn thing.
It's a Berwyn thing.
It is.
You have a reputation of being a really decent, nice, generous guy. And to that end, your proverbial Rolodex is full. Like the people who you pull from to help out on your solo record and on this Ides of March record. I mean, it's a who's who.
Well, I'm blessed,
So who's on this?
Well, on this album, the Ides of March album, we really got some of our favorite people. Mark Farner, Grand Funk Railroad. He came into town. We wrote a song called Swagger, and we cut it 2 days later. We cut the whole thing at my son's studio called the Jam Lab in Brookfield. And we did it the old school way. It's all live, and we were looking at each other in this ISO room, and in other words, face to face, like when we cut Vehicle, at CBS Studios.
In 1970?
1969, and then it came out in 70. We were all looking at each other and feeling it. There was no click tracks and digital BS, you know what I mean? And that's the way we did it for this album. All live, me and Farner face to face doing the duet on Swagger.
Love it.
But we got David Pack of Ambrosia, who's one of my dear friends. Just great. A song about Mary. It's one of my favorite songs. About all the songs that name check Mary and how they all kind of share a bittersweet feeling. I love that song. We got Bo Bice, who sang Vehicle to the top of the charts in 2007 on American Idol.
What does it feel like when you have your songs covered?
It depends how good they are.
Fair enough.
And yeah, I mean, I heard a few that I never want to hear again. Never mind. I won't mention anybody at all. But David Hasselhoff, he's still a good friend. But no, it wasn't him. He did fine. But with Bo Bice, man, he killed it. And I was in Nashville, and my drummer Mike Borch called me and said, "Man, get to a TV, man. There's this guy that looks like Jesus Christ, man, and he's crushing Vehicle." So I got up there, and he's just giving it up. And now we're best of friends. And he and I wrote a song called "Love or Something Like It" for this album. Came into town. We got Joe Bonamassa on the record.
Wow. That dude can play.
Oh man, he could play the phone book. Just amazing. Kathy Richardson, who actually, I'll take
Chicagoan.
Totally, suburbs. Take a little bit of credit for really mentoring her when she was 19.
She has got a voice.
Unbelievable. She played Janis Joplin in Love Janis on Broadway. Anyway, we're dear friends, and I produced her first album, Moon Not Banana, back in '91, and she repaid the favor by doing a duet with me on a song called Blue Storm Rising, which is one of the standout tracks. We've got Paul Schaefer doing some Wurlitzer on a song called Rule of Three. Who else? Oh, Mindy Abair, Grammy-winning sax player, who's easy on the eyes, as you'll see on the record. But it's Ides of March. That's the main thing. It's our sound. It's the harmony. It's the horns.
So what is it? I mean, 55 years later, I realize I've fallen out of touch with most of the people I went to high school with, and if not for Facebook, I'd probably be completely out of touch. Not out of disrespect. It's just the ebb and flow of life. Is it that you and the rest of the band, the Ides of March, kind of were in the trenches together back in the day? Like you kind of went through battle together.
Oh my God! I mean, before Vehicle hit, we were on the road with a song called "You Wouldn't Listen," 1966. It's like Innocent Hollies meets the Kinks and little Curtis Mayfield. I told you he was a fool. You wouldn't listen to me. He'll break your heart. You wouldn't listen to me. And we're on the road, and the South was, really, really prejudiced, not only about race, but long-haired hippies.
Yeah.
And we would go into a restaurant. Are you guys boys or are you girls? You're a disgrace to manhood. I mean, we look at each other and laugh our butts off. We're going, this is really bad. We couldn't even stay at Holiday Inns at the time. One time in Washington, D.C., we stayed at an old people's home because they're the only ones that would take us. Honest to God. It was a different age.
Yeah.
But then Vehicle hit, and then we were pretty much golden. And we went on the road. We played with the Grateful Dead for about, 10 gigs. We opened for Led Zeppelin, Janis Joplin, the Grateful Dead.
You opened for Zeppelin?
Oh, yeah.
Was this 69, like first album?
70.
Okay.
Yeah. And they were amazing, but we had the night of our lives. It was in Winnipeg, and the people were on our side, man. Zeppelin was a little bit jaded. They came a little bit under the weather, if you know what I mean. The PA sucked, and the Ides of March were used to bad PAs at that time, So we went out there and we played for 20,000 people, got a standing ovation. Randy Bachman happened to be in the audience. I said, were we really that good? He said, you really were, Jim. Zeppelin came on. Honest to God, they couldn't follow us that night. That was the only night they couldn't follow us. And the next day, the headlines read, Ides of March steal the show from Led Zeppelin.
There it is.
I still think about that. If I have a down day, I think about that.
And I don't know whether you can find those headlines now. You'd have to look it up on microfiche.
No, I got it. I got it.
Okay, there.
Yeah, man. You're not going to pry
that's
that
a
out.
keeper.
Yeah, right.
So could Vehicle be released today in the era of Me Too? Because it's creepy.
Well, you mean I'm the friendly stranger in the black sedan. Won't you hop inside my car? I got pictures, can you ever love a man? Take it to the nearest star. You mean that?
I mean that.
I'm your vehicle, baby. I'll take you anywhere you want to go. I'm your vehicle, woman. By now I'm sure you know that I love you, need you. Won't you got to have your child? Great God in heaven, you know I love you. I don't know, man. I think we're grandfathered into that one.
Yeah, I think you are. I think.
In fact, I'm a grandfather.
Limitations on that. Yeah, your grandfather.
I am times two. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about this new album. So you guys came back together. There are also old, like vintage Ides of March songs on here.
Right. Side 4 on the vinyl is Vehicle, the original master mono version. Our follow-up to it, Superman, L.A. Goodbye, which became a big hit, mainly in Chicago. When we do concerts around the Midwest, this is the one they ask for. This is the one that people are proud to say, I like this one better than Vehicle. And I said, God bless you. And it's one of my favorites, too. Oh, well, my wavelength gets a little longer every time I wave goodbye. Sentimental breakdown. You know I break down and lie. Where I'm not supposed to lie my head. Always seem my softest pillow. And as I board my plane, something inside my brain hates to wave LA goodbye, LA goodbye. Yeah.
I'm just going to drive you around and take you home with me.
Please.
Yeah,
please.
This is too much fun.
People will talk.
People will talk. So, take me back. I started to talk about this. I don't remember if it was before we had audio issues. Chicago music, circa 1964, circa the 60s. What was it like coming up before you signed a deal?
Oh, my God. Well, we signed a deal really early on. I was 15 when we got our deal with Parrot Records, the home of the Zombies, and Tom Jones and Engelbert Humperdinck.
Because when you're 15, you're able to make sound decisions with your career.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Not. But you know what? We always had good luck with people. And Larry's mother got us that first appointment with Mercury Records. I said, Mrs. Millis, how did you get that appointment? Well, I went to the phone book and I looked up Mercury Records. I called them and they answered, and you got an appointment on Monday. Amazing. Those were the days. But we had the big hit before. The first group that really made it in Chicago was New County 6. I confess to have a willingness and wanting for you. But soon after that, we put out You Wouldn't Listen, and it went to, whoops, sorry.
We're all good.
Yep, you're good. Went to number 7 on the WLS Silver Dollar Survey.
Sweet.
Who doesn't remember that? And Dick Biondi and all those great jocks. Art Roberts.
Yeah.
And right then, all the Chicago bands started blossoming. And that's why we do this show now called Cornerstones of Rock, which was a WTTW special about 3 years ago. And now we tour with it. Ides of March, Buckingham's, New County 6, Crying Shame, Shadows of Night, Aliota Haynes, Jeremiah. It's just a great show.
So what do you think? You never left Chicago. One of the things we talked about at Revolution Brewpub before we came in here, I asked, with your success through the years as a songwriter, as a performer, surely there must have been some inclination to get out of town and go somewhere warmer or go somewhere more industry. I don't know.
Well, right. And all I can say is, I spent a lot of time in L.A. cutting albums, with Ides of March, with Survivor. It never felt like home, the people weren't the same. The pizza, yuck, they didn't have Italian beef,
That's a problem.
Until Montaigne opened one of those years later. Now they got one. But so many differences. I'm a homeboy, and I love the people of Chicago. I always say, give me pan pizza and Italian beef from, Mr. Beef, and give me the Cubs, the Sox, the Blackhawks, the Bulls. Man, you can't beat that.
This is a great city.
It is. And I'll take the winners. I got a fur coat, I got a raccoon coat. Put that on, I'm bulletproof.
You didn't wear that today, did you?
I did.
Because you're a very stylish dude.
I like to, I don't like
accessorize.
born to accessorize.
You pull it all together.
You know, I don't like to blend in. You know, it's just me. I'm a ham.
You do not blend in.
Okay, good.
No worries there. Okay, so the new album from Ides of March comes out August 16th. It's called Play On. And before, we're going to keep talking, but I want you to be able to eat too, but you're also going to sing for your supper pretty much.
Oh, yeah.
So play a new song. Play a new Ides of March
Oh,
song.
man. Okay.
Give me some backgrounds.
All right, good. Let me get my guitar picked. This is getting serious now.
This is getting We're not messing around now. This is all just prelude.
Well, I didn't bring Kathy because she couldn't fit in the car. But
next time, bring Kathy.
Well, she's on the street there. Kathy! No, she's not. We got a song called Blue Storm Rising, which we played it 2 days ago at the College of DuPage. And it's a new song, you know, and to play new songs for an audience is scary. But they loved it. All 3 new songs they played they really accepted. So this is one of them, and let's see if I can pull this off.
I'm going to turn the camera a little bit more towards you. This will be fully properly mixed on KirklandKearney.com.
Of course.
For the next few days. Kirkland Kearney, presented by the Audubon Mazda of Evanston. To my right, songwriter, raconteur, star, Jim Peterik.
Blue Storm Rising. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Who's gonna be first to lay it on out? Silence is screaming 'cause nobody's talking out loud. Hear the shattering glass, for the wind at the door. Even the dog's acting strange. He knows when that rain's gonna pour. Out on the horizon line, there's a darkness that's bleeding us dry. Love must have gone there to die, and it's scaring me cold. It's like you and me in the sky, all 3 of us crying. Blue storm rising. I just know something bad is blowing on through. I'm gonna name this hurricane after you. The way that you love me, the way you love me back. Tell me, how did that blue sky we faded to black? Out on the horizon line, there's a darkness that's bleeding us dry. Love must have gone there to die, and it's scaring me cold. It's like you and me in the sky, all 3 of us crying. Blue storm rising. Storm rising. There's a blue storm. There's a blue storm rising.
Holy shit! I can say that, right?
You can. I don't know. It's your show.
Yeah, holy shit. The Ides of March.
Thank
Jim
you.
Peterik playing a new song. You know, it's interesting. That's my first time hearing that song.
Yeah.
Certainly, I feel a blues sensibility to that.
Definitely.
How much or how little do the blues play a part in your aesthetic or in your being around the blues?
Well, good question. And you know what? I don't think I've ever been asked that. You know, when I joined, when I formed Survivor, you know, I was, you know, we had to run away from that because, you know, me and Frankie decided we want to be Journey. We wanted to be Kansas. We wanted to follow the melodic rock thing. And in that, you know, mission, we really got rid of the blues, you know. But when you go back to early Ides of March. I'm a friend, a stranger in the black sedan. Won't you hop inside my? That's blues, baby. So on this album is really refreshing because we got to renew our blues vows. You know, and there's a song with Joe Bonamassa called what is it? It's not the cover. The cover up is worse than the crime, and it's a blues song, man. You know, it name checks Monica Lewinsky and Bill Klinsky, and Joe loved it because it's so funny. You know, the cover up is worse. It always is too. You know, so blues is big on this album. Blues and R&B.
See, I've said this for a while. It seems like the city of Chicago pays a lot of lip service to the blues.
Yeah.
But doesn't do a lot to really own the blues. We have Blues Fest, but like when you land in O'Hare, you should be hearing Hoochie Coochie Man or something.
Well, in Midway, you do. Not Hoochie Coochie Man. You go, you know,
Champagne and Reefer.
Heidi Ho. No, the Chicago song. Heidi Ho, baby. Sweet Home Chicago.
Yeah.
You see that at Baggage. You hear that there.
Mm-hmm.
But in general, you're right.
It's something we own as a city. I mean,
you're damn right. Buddy Guy is a dear friend of mine. I get to jam with him almost every January at his club, and we always do Vehicle.
I bet that's badass.
It is. I'll send you a copy of it. I got a recording of it.
I bet that's badass.
He kills it, man.
All right, so Jim Peterik, I want you to be able to put the guitar away because we have food courtesy of Revolution Brewpub. You, sir, have ordered the smoked wings and kale panzanella salad.
Yeah, baby.
Which sounds delicious and healthy.
Well, I try. You know, I really do. And it's delicious.
Now, I ordered the Fist City fish and chips. So it's fish and chips made with their own Fist City beer. That sounds kind of amazing to me.
Wow.
I'll share it, too.
Everything on this menu looked amazing.
Well, this place is just awesome.
Yeah.
I love the Revolution Brewpub. We love Revolution
It's got a great vibe. I was at the bar, and the guy didn't know me from Adam, but I guess he liked me. He bought me a shot.
He knew who you were.
I don't know.
He knew who you were. Again, there's nothing subtle about you.
Well, he seemed to bond with me really quick, so maybe.
Maybe, perhaps. All right, so I'll let you put the guitar away.
All right.
We're going to stop the recording. We'll start it up again when we eat and talk more about Jim Peterik's illustrious career. We'll talk Ides of March. We'll talk more Survivor. We'll talk 38 Special and everyone else you worked with, from Cheap Trick to the Beach Boys.
Sammy Hagar.
Sammy Hagar.
I got to do a little of that one.
Heavy metal?
Yep.
That's one of the greatest songs you've written.
I
mean,
love
for real.
that song. Well, we'll do it when we come back, right?
All right, sounds good.
Okay, if I'm not belching.
If you're not belching.
Right.
All right. I'm going to stop the recording real quick. We're going to stop this real quick, I think.